everyone, Katie Freiling here, and it's really great to be back with you again. So this is the second video that I'm creating for you in this series of just, sharing some of the greatest life lessons and stories from my last 5 months of traveling around the world. So last time we talked about the gateway to freedom, how important it is to learn and to practice letting go of needing to have so much control in our lives, of holding on to a specific outcome or plan or an expectation, or needing to have it all figured out ahead of time, and to just really learn how to trust more deeply in ourselves, trust more deeply in life and spirit. And when that happens, we'll experience not only a deeper freedom in our lives, but we'll be so much more connected to our authentic selves. We'll be able to create so much more success in our lives easily and effortlessly. So I'm going to actually pick up where we left off last time and talk about now, once you do, let go of control and you're in a space of trust, how do you know how to navigate your life from there? How do you make the right choices for you in your life? And it comes down to following your feelings. Following your feelings. When I say feelings, what do I mean by that? I'm not talking about emotion. So emotion, there's in our lives, there's always going to be waves of emotion coming through where, we'll be happy and joyful one minute, and then the next minute, maybe something happens and we contract and we go into a state of fear, or, then we start feeling a little frustrated about something, and then, all of a sudden we let that go, and then we're happy and carefree again, and, then something happens, somebody says something, and we feel angry. So there's always going to be an ebb and flow of emotion. So when I say follow your feelings, I'm not talking about following your emotion. I'm talking about following the inner knowing that lives in the cells of your body. Our bodies are connected to the universal wisdom that is life itself. And when we tune in and we drop our awareness out of our heads and into our bodies, whether it's your heart, your gut, but just feeling what feels the best to you, rather than trying to make all your decisions from your head, from your mind. And I think unfortunately most of us in this culture, just what we're trained to do, we live from here up, where we're constantly just using our minds to, direct our lives. We're constantly interpreting and analyzing and judging, and we can get extremely thrown off track when we're disconnected from our bodies. So it's so important to integrate mind and body to really be able to be more fully connected to your whole being, your whole truth, your true power as who you are. So in following your feelings, that's really the key. So it's leading with this. Leading with how something feels intuitively in your body. So I'll tell you what this actually looks like and how to do this. And then I want to share with you at the end of this video a couple stories from my own journey of how I was able to really learn this in a very powerful way. So when you're wanting to make a choice in your life and you've got, let's say, option A and option B, and you're like, oh, which one do I choose? Which one do I choose? And I don't know about you, but for me in the past, I used to have the hardest time making decisions, where I just get so worried about making the wrong decision, or so caught up in analyzing. It's like, oh, there's this and there's that, but I don't know. And I would just spin out into confusion, and I wouldn't make the right decisions for myself. I would, end up, making decisions that didn't serve me in certain ways, and I would just, get lost. So how do you know what decision to make? So here's what I would suggest you do. So let's say you've got option A on the table. What I suggest doing is maybe closing your eyes and envisioning what option A will look like. Just envision yourself going through the motions, executing whatever it is with option A, and pay attention as you're envisioning this, what it feels like in your body. What does it feel like here? So you'll be able to just kind of observe, okay, do I feel open and expanded? And do I feel a little sense of excitement? Or, do I feel, a moving towards, like, is my body kind of wanting to move towards that choice and that option? Or am am I feeling some sense of tension in my body or in my stomach? Or is there just, like a little bit of tightness? Or even, as you become more sensitive to your own body and your feelings, you'll really tune in. You can maybe even feel some pains in certain areas when you tune into an option. So if there's any sort of closing down or constriction or tightness or tension, or you're kind of like closing in your shoulders or just moving away from that option, your body's telling you that it's not the right one for you. So it's really easy actually to tune in and just see what your body's telling you. Is option A, with option A, how does that feel? With option B, how does this feel? Maybe one is very clearly the choice, or maybe neither one of them is, and you want to ask for guidance for another option to come through. Whatever it is, you are the only one that knows what's true for you, what is the best decision for you. So when I say, this is how to make the right choices, it's not, the right choices according to other people's opinions or expectations or society's, ideas about what's right or what are the right things that we should be doing with our lives, but really, what is most true for you, and you are the only one that can decide that for yourself. So if you've been caught in a pattern of disempowering yourself by constantly asking other people for their opinions and calling up your friends or your girlfriends with every decision you have to make in life and asking them what should I do? What should I do? When you start taking in everybody else's opinions, you're really disempowering yourself, and you're keeping yourself disconnected from your own truth, and nobody else can tune into your feelings for you and what is really truly right for you. Nobody can. Even if they have your best interests at heart, they just can't do that for you. So it's so important for us to take full responsibility of the choices that we make in our lives, and to know that we can trust our intuition. We can trust our feelings. And so when you tune in and you get, a yes or a no, or you get an answer in your body, then, and only then, you can check with your logic and go, okay, does that make sense? Can this be a possibility? So instead of leading with the logic, you want to lead with the feeling. You want to follow that feeling first and then check in with the logical mind. So, I just think in our society, so many of us are just so used to only leading with the mind. And again, when you're disconnected from that source of inner knowing, which is your body and your being, you're going to be making decisions that are not going to serve you. You'll be making decisions that are going to create more tension and struggle in your life, because you're kind of moving against the grain. You're moving against the natural, organic flow of your life. And ultimately, when we make decisions that aren't serving us, we suffer in a multitude of different ways. But when we're tuned in and we're following that flow, we're able to listen to our inner guidance. And it's, Spirit, God, the universe, our inner guidance speaks to us through our feelings. It speaks to us through that bodily wisdom, that inner knowing that comes from here. So the next time you have a choice to make, or you're wondering what to do, just drop your awareness from here down into your body. And when I say that, it just means feeling it, feeling your heart, feeling your stomach, just noticing, what do I feel right now? And it may be something that is not as natural for you at first, just because of conditioning and patterning. And a lot of people, again, I just think are not used to doing that. But the more and more you do it, the more it'll become, something that is a natural way of living for you. And that's when you'll be able to live in synchronicity, where you're being guided, you're following that feeling, and then the right people and the right circumstances and the right experiences come into your life at the right time, and you're in that magic. You are in your flow. You are in your true power. So I want to share, a couple stories now of just, my experiences with this throughout my travels. So I was, definitely playing with this and practicing, really following my feelings all the time. And even with small decisions, with, what should I do today? Or which cafe should I, have lunch at today? When I walk into the cafe, where should I sit? And just, taking my awareness out of my head and just bringing it into my body and my feeling and just noticing, where am I drawn? Where is my body drawn towards? So, what I noticed is that in following that, I would choose a cafe and I would choose a specific spot where, I would be sitting next to somebody that would be able to, plant a very specific seed for me that, has been able to blossom in so many beautiful ways in my life that has just, been profound in certain ways. Or, there's been times where I was able to be there for somebody that really needed it, that really needed the advice and the insight that I was able to give them right there in that moment. So there's a higher order, a higher organizing intelligence in this world, in this universe. And when we get out of our heads and we stop, thinking that we have all the answers and that we can just, our minds are the only way to lead our lives, and we just let our guidance and our feeling lead the way, that's when we slip into that flow, that natural unfolding where, we are in that synchronicity, we are experiencing magic in our lives, and we are in that effortless flow. And we know we're making the right choices because that is what feels the best to us. So when I was paying attention and I was really following my feelings, it was just magical. And I also had an experience where I clearly chose not to, where instead of dropping in and checking in with my feelings, I was kind of caught up in a certain outcome, in wanting something to turn out a certain way. So in that, I was ignoring how I really felt inside. And when I did that, I actually got myself into a potentially dangerous situation. And, it was just such a huge wake-up call for me to just go, whoa, okay, thank you, I get it, I got the lesson. I know just how important it is for me always in my life to be tuning in and listening to my intuition and to lead with that and to not, be so caught up in, again, back to last week's video, the control or needing to, have things work out according to our own expectations, because we really don't know the beautiful possibilities that are in store for us when we let go of what we think we want. And so that experience was huge for me, and it was important for me to have that because I really got it. I really, really got it in a much deeper way. And so then I also want to share with you a time where I really very consciously listened to my feelings and was able to experience the most magical time of my entire trip. So while I was in Bali, I decided to go to the Gili Islands. So you've probably heard me talk about this. If you've seen my slideshows or videos from my travels, you've probably seen the Gili Islands. They are just absolutely stunning, gorgeous, majestic. These islands off the coast of Bali that you take a boat to get to, and there's no roads, no cars, just horse carriages, and you've got the warm turquoise water and the white sand beaches, and it's also very social there as well. So I had a beautiful time. I was so connected to Mother Earth while I was there, and I was only supposed to be there for 5 days, and I just loved it so much that I didn't want to leave. So I kept changing my plans. So, I'd have plans with the boat company to go back to Bali, and then I'd need to call them up one day and go, oh, changing my plans, I'm staying longer. And so I'd stay another day, and then I'd decide, oh, shoot, I really don't want to go yet, so I'm going to stay longer. So I'd call them up again. And so what happened was I kept extending my trip, and I kept canceling on this boat company. And so then one day I finally went, you know what? I have canceled my plans so many times. I really should go now. I really should go back to the mainland of Bali. So I got up in the morning, I got all packed up, had my backpack on, I checked in with the boat company, got all registered to go back that morning. I'm standing on the beach, and I'm standing there waiting for the boat to arrive. And the boat comes up, and as it comes up, I'm just, all of a sudden, I just tuned into myself and I said, wait a minute, is this what I really want? And I just stopped and I tuned into my feelings, and I asked my feelings, what do I really want? What is in my highest good? And it was so clear for me that I was not ready to leave. I could literally feel such a strong pull from Mother Earth going, no, like it's not time to go yet. There's more for you here. I could feel it in every cell of my being. And I was kind of blown away, like, wow. I logically thought that, okay, well, I've canceled on these boat people so many times, like, I'm literally standing there, the boat's already there, I'm already all packed up, like, am I really going to cancel on them again? Am I really going to do this? But it was so clear that that was the right thing for me to do. And even though my logical mind was just like, oh, that's like irresponsible and you shouldn't do that and blah, 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 I decided not to listen to it. I decided to follow my intuition. So I went and I told the boat company that I'm going to, be here another couple days. And even though my experience on the islands up to that point was very fun and very social, I also tuned into my feelings, and I just was being called to go to another more secluded part of the island by myself to spend those last couple days alone. And so I did. I completely was in that flow and letting my feelings guide me. I stayed another 2 days. I stayed in the secluded part of the island, and I had the most beautiful, magical 2 days of my entire trip. My entire trip, hands down, by far. And what's just also interesting too is from what I was sharing with you in the last video about, my search for this perfect place in Bali, right? I was looking for this nature sanctuary so I could, really connect with myself in silence and have peace and quiet. And I wasn't able to find that in Ubud, with the construction, with, things booking ahead of time and whatnot. I just didn't find it. But I found it on the Gili Islands. I found it in those last 2 days. And it was almost as if that entire experience in Bali, the entire experience of just not being able to find that place that I was looking for, and really going through all the experiences that I did and the lessons and learning how to follow my feelings, it all came down to that pivotal moment where that boat had arrived and I had the choice. Is it time for me to go? Am I going to follow what I think I should be doing or what my logic is telling me is right? Or am I really going to listen to my feelings? And because I did, I feel like I kind of, passed some sort of test and got rewarded because it was the most beautiful experience. I mean, I can't even put into words what happened to me in those last 2 days there on those islands. But it was absolutely incredible, and I was just blown away and so, so grateful for all of this. For the opportunity that I had to really experience this lesson in such a deep way, and just amazing. So the point is that really, if you make it a practice to just tune in and follow your feelings and to let that lead your life, you will discover so much beauty, and you'll be able to really be in that connected, powerful flow that is yours and that is your right to be living in this life. And it's not up to anybody else and anybody else's opinions or expectations or ideas of what you think you should be doing. When you follow your truth and you follow your feelings and your intuitions, you will live the life that you were meant to live, that you were born to live, and it will be so much more magical, and you'll be in so much, so connected to synchronicity that it'll blow you away. It'll really start blowing you away. So here's what I suggest that you do. I suggest that, if this is not currently a practice in your life, to play with this a little bit and start practicing tuning into your feelings when it comes to making small decisions in your life. Like, where should I go for dinner tonight? Or, should I go to the gym or go to yoga today? Just, small decisions, but just tuning in. And again, envisioning the possibility of each one and just going with what feels best. Which one feels the best? And when you do that, pay attention to signs and synchronicities around you, and you'll start really experiencing and knowing that you're on the right path, that you are making the decisions that are in alignment with the flow of your life. And so the more that you do this, you'll start building trust in yourself. You'll start building more and more trust in your own ability to choose, to make the right decisions for you. And then, you'll be able to really, fully trust in making the bigger decisions that come your way in life, and to not feel like, if you're your logical mind is saying one thing and your feelings are saying another, to not doubt those feelings, to really follow them, because that's your truth, and that's where the magic in your life lives. So I hope you enjoyed this video today, and I would love to hear from you. So leave me a comment. Let all of us know, what your thoughts are on this. If you have any stories or things that you want to share about, experiences in your life that you've had when you were following your feelings, following your intuitions, and what that outcome was like for you. And again, thank you for being here with me today. I've had so much fun sharing this with you and kind of reliving this very beautiful moment in my journey. So I look forward to seeing you again in the next video, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.